Hello and welcome. So I'm going to take a look at the Times quick cryptic crossword, and this is being published on Saturday the 28th of December 2024, and it's been set by Jalna. Just had a little look back in my records, and Jalna, generally I'm around 14, 15, 16 minutes on a Jalna puzzle, but there have been days where I've been down to 10 minutes and there are days where I'm taking 25 minutes and it's a bit of a struggle. So not sure what to expect. Jalna definitely was one of the settings I found harder when I began, but seems to have eased up a bit. So I think all I'm going to do really is, I'm just checking I've got all my things set up. I'm going to reset the timer and I'm going to crack on. Fine and kind of brill. Fine for, put an F there, I'm not sure about that. Look to return with wine as a memento. Ooh, wine zesty, red I would think. Look to return, so word back for red, a look. Memento, treasured, something like that. Chief Technical Officer, so TO, CTO, about to come to grief, nearly. About. I think that's C, with Chief Technical Officer, something 2, although about to come to grief says it shouldn't be a 2 there, really. We'll try that anyway. Source of money taken away from old car plant. Old car plant. So I think that's take a car, think of an old car, take an M away from it, to give a plant, which, old car. I can only think of a Ford Cortina at this moment, or an Escort. None of those really feel like they're going to be useful. Disbelief is represented crudely in it. Is that an anagram? It's a weird anagram indicator if there is. Crudely could be, but then in the end you often discover you feel totally rebellious. In the end, is that just end letters U-N-R-U-L? Unruly, yes. So if I spell that right, yes, unruly. So the final letters of those words in the middle, as indicated by in the end, and that's rebellious, unruly. Lied terribly to cover up extremely dim-witted swindle. That's diddle, isn't it? I think it's D-I-D-D-L-E. So lied around D-D, and extremely dim-witted is the D's. Drunk Oasis fan hit somebody with it. So that looks like an anagram of Oasis fan hit. Somebody with it would be cool. Somebody who's with it is, I don't know, some kind of enthusiast, I think. Probably an ist at the end of that. Quite what ist it'll be, I'm not sure. Animal seen in Morocco at intervals. Moo. OOC. What have I got? Animal seen in Morocco at intervals. I've got MRCOOC. Got moo every third letter? But an animal isn't a moo. Oh, maybe it start in Morocco. I am Imruk. NOOC. I can't get that one at this moment. We ultimately failed to show up for reception. We ultimately fail, so to show up for reception. Guy getting on and leading the team. So I assume that's put on into something like man or chap, leading the team. And leading the. So it's probably T at the end. Team would be second gear, S. Kit. S-kit. Skit is a takeoff, yes. Okay, what I'm doing here. Divisive bit of information on debtors' documents. I don't think that's going to be an F, is it? Divisive bit of info on debtors' documents. That doesn't have to be a C either, does it? That's the trouble. Okay, let's go on from there. Unemotional criticism, mostly involving nothing. Oh, unemotional is most of criticism, so I've got to think of a 6-letter word of criticism, then stick an O into it. And to get to unemotional, my word. One time hoodlums regularly fleeing. Okay, so that surely is just one of those Holm. Holm doesn't work. ODUS. Odus. That's Odus. What's the first bit? One time. Exodus. One time Exodus. There we are. Gosh, that's a combination of a clue, isn't it? Specialist insight. I think that could be read there actually. Red look to return as Mento. A specialist insight given by Pacino for one acting, so that's going to be Al, obviously. Insight. One acting. Order a surprise attack over the radio, over a radio. So, I mean, over a radio would normally sound like, well, you'd not say on the radio for a sound like. Ordered a surprise attack over radio. Surprise is 6 letters, 7 letters, sorry, 8 letters. Raid over a radio, raid. I mean, I've got a D there, definitely. Ordered, yep. Each street is right on the map. Okay. Very good, very clever. Clever actually. Each and street and east is literally right on the map, isn't it? It's the right side of the map. Fair enough. Which makes me think this should be look to return with wine. I think that's maybe it's okay. Perpetual movement of giant levers. Oh, that has to be an anagram, doesn't it? Giant levers, 6 letters, movement of, 6 and 5 letters, 11. Perpetual is everlasting. I think that looks like everlasting to me. It looks like all the letters are there. After 10 years, a collection of books is deteriorating. I think it's decadent, isn't it? Decade. Oh, that undoes that idea. Oh gosh, passionista? Fashionista? I think that's a fashionista, isn't it? Fashionista looks about right for Oasis. Fan hit? I think so, yeah. Stop in a few bars. I mean, is that to do with music? A few bars. Ref, rough, rough. Quar. Okay. Bottomless Prosecco. Could be wine. Win. That's great for win-win. Win-win. Bottomless Prosecco. Possibly more than once. Yep. Win-win. Okay. Standard part of a risotto recipe. That looks like it should be hidden word, but it clearly isn't because there's no S and K. Steak. Is it steak? Standard. Steak. Don't think so. Shady scheme plan or something requiring computers to be set up. Computers is IT. PCs. So what's that? A scam. Scam and Mac computers. Okay, fair enough. Okay, the bottom half looks a bit happier, at least. Finding kind of brill. I've got no idea what to do there. Look to return with wine as a memento is keepsake. Keep, I think. Yeah, peak. And Saki. Keepsake, fair enough. That one, about to come to grief. Nearly. Grief is That can't be, well, I don't know. What do I know about anything at this point? Source of money taken away from old car plants. Don't know. Oh, there's my A. A surprise. Cool. Wow. Attack overrated ordered is announced. Announced a. Gosh. Specialist insight for one acting by Pacino. Was that an anagram of Pacino? I've got the PIN of Pacino there. Pacino for one is too many letters. Specialist insight is. Well, I mean, if it wasn't, then that would be Al down here. Chanel per positional or something. This would be we ultimately failed to show up for reception. Must be we come, I suppose. Yeah, sure. Well, come. Okay. So what's this? Stock must be the standard part. Fair enough. This Island Capri. Okay. Oh, it's a Coty. Okay. Fortunately, saw Coty the other day in a puzzle I've never heard of, having never heard of it. But so yeah, seen in. That's a hidden word. Okay. What's this? Let's have a look at this first. Managing. Okay. Man getting on and leading the team. That's managing, isn't it? There's man. Aging. Okay. Man aging. Fair enough. That must be a ruffian. No, not a ruffian. Stop in a few bars. Refrain. Okay. Yep, a refrain is a piece of music. Gosh, this is hard though without the checkers. And this is where I'm coming undone here. Disbelief is represented crudely in it. Crudely in it could be an anagram, could it? CRU, 7 letters. In it is 11 letters, yeah. Disbelief would be. I mean, if there's going to be a Y in there, it's probably going to be at the end, isn't it? Gosh, I'm going to write down the letters. I don't feel very confident about being able to unravel this, to be fair. CRDLY, crudely. In it. Incredulently, I think that is. Oh, I'm going to go back and take these on. Incredulent. Is that right? Let's see. INCRUDE. No. Incredulity, I think, is the correct. I'm going to have to retick that. I'm going to tick that off again. So we've got crudely in it. CRUDELY in it. Well, I've got the in. I've got CRED. Cred. Ulity. Yeah, incredulity. I think this must be assayed. Assayed? A surprise attacked over a radio. Assayed. Must be a Y, mustn't it? Assailed? If that was assayed, source may take from car plant. Cactus, Mactus, no. I think this is a Chanel positional. Specialist insight positional. Insight is for one acting. I mean, I think one acting is saying if you're like a deputy, if you're deputising someone. Positional. If that was an S for positional, I'm not particularly sure of that at this moment, but I'm fairly sure that Al goes there now. Actually, can't be passion, not position, can it? It can't be position. No idea on that one. This one's got a C on the end of it now. Oh, yeah, criticism, which is. I need a 5-letter word for criticism, which is unemotional, is stoic, isn't it? Which is giving someone stick. Okay, I like that. Or don't like it, but I can do it. So this is fuss, kind of brill, fuse, fush, and kind. Fine is F. maybe it's F, and then a kind is a, yes, kind of, ish. And a brill is a fish, isn't it? Fish, I think that is. Which just leaves this down here to be F. I don't know what that is there though. F, oh, something, something, something. I something, U something. Divisive is what? That's documents are IOUs. Fair enough. Bit of info is divisive is frictious. Bit of info. Is that an anagram of info? Would you be fino off, fion off? Don't think so. Divisive. Gosh, what's all for divisive? Fractious. Fractious doesn't quite fit. So yeah, we want a bit of info, which is, I think, is a word for info that's 5 letters taking off one. This one here then, Chief Technical Officer, about to come to grief. Come to grief nearly. That's close to, isn't it? I think close to. So CTO around loss, lose, grief. I think that's close to is nearly. So that must be, I don't know what it is. Factious, I suppose. Bit of it as a fact, I would say. Factious, 16 minutes. Kind of, yeah, so it's kind of coming in about the same as it normally does, assuming that's ordered. I think ordered is a sade. Not entirely convinced. A surprise. A sade. Sade. A surprise doesn't work though. A attack. Surprise attack is a raid. A raid. Okay, a raid like that. Fair enough. Source of money. Fort Capri. Old car plant. So I'm down to these last two really, aren't I? And I've crossed off all my letters on this. Maybe I've never written out this one horizontally. I think that's a shunal word. I'm going to take a risk. That's a provisional. What about provision? Provisional is one acting. Yeah, provision. Specialist insight is provision, which makes that orchids. Is that provisional? I think it is. Special insight is provision, maybe. Provision owl. One acting is provisional, definitely. What is that? Oh, old car. Plant. Oh. Ochres. Motors. No, can't be motors, can it? What? Source of money taken away from old car. So old motors, old. There's old. What is this? I need a vowel in there. If I'm losing an M, and I think I am, not entirely sure, but I think I'm losing an M. Something R, something S. Car. Old car plants, that would be an OR. If I'm losing an M from a word, it would surely have to be a... So actually it's not an old car, is it? It's just a car, I think. Taken away from old car plant. ogress, grams, ogress. I'm going to take out that, which I think is a raid. I'm fairly comfortable with that being a raid down there. Prism? Is there a price? I saw some money. Prism. Car. I don't think I've heard of a prism car, but I wouldn't rule it out. The other way about it is to go this way, isn't it? Really unlikely. Could be an E, I suppose. I feel like more likely there's a vowel there, but I suppose it could be like a T or an H. I'm not really thinking here at all. I'm going to put the video on pause while because it'll help me think a little bit, and it's pretty boring. Okay, I think I've finally deciphered what it is. I think this old car is a Morris Minor, and therefore it's an Oris plant. Raid. There we go. 30:55. What was that? 10 plus minutes on Morris Oris. Not a very nice clue, given that the O was in there. So there we go. Yeah, I think that was pretty tough from Jalna there, although most of it was done in 18, 19 minutes. But I look at the words there. We've got Oris, obviously, probably factious. I've never heard of. Coty, I hadn't heard of before this week, and it came up in one of the other clues. So yeah, those three are particularly, but then like the Exodus clue with, I'll go through them. So we've got fish is F, and kind of is ish, which is a brill, which is a fish. So ish, well, that's roughly it. Ish, it's around that ish. Fish. We've got look to return, so peek going backwards. Peek, take a peek. And wine is sake. I think that's how you say it. Sake. A memento is a keepsake. Chief Technical Officer about to come to grief, nearly. So we got the CTO going around come to grief, loses. I'm not sure what he's trying to get to there, but nearly is close to. We've got the source of money, so take an M off of an old car. In this case, it's the Morris. Morris Minor would be one people might have heard of, and a plant is an Oris. I don't think that's a very good clue for a bunch of reasons, really, which is A, you've got a plant that I've never heard of, not even in passing. B, you're asking them to take source of money, which is the M, from old car, where you've got to know old cars, and the fact that that gives you there left a lot of alphabet trawl in between. Disbelief is incredulity. Yeah, I feel a bit incredulous at this puzzle today, which is anagram indicators represented. That isn't very good, really. Crudely in it is an anagram of incredulity. In the end, it take the last letters of you, often discover you feel totally, and that gives you unruly, which is rebellious. Good clue, like that one. Lied terribly, to cover up. So we've got the D-I-L-E of lied. Terribly is taken because it's an anagram, and that's covering up the extremes of dim-witted, the D and the D, and a swindle is a diddle. Fair enough. Drunk is an anagram indicator, classic one really. We've got Oasis fan hit is an anagram of fashionista, and somebody who's with it is a fashionista. Fair enough. We've got animals seen in Morocco at intervals. So we've got a big old, again, we've got another bit of big misdirection here, because at intervals is normally says take alternate letters. But it's a Coty, and I've only come across the Coty this week, so hidden word misdirection isn't very pleasant, I think, in the QC. We ultimately fail, so we literally ultimately fail is take the L of ultimate letter of fail, L, and then to show up is to come, and a reception is a welcome. A guy is a man, and he's getting on, so he's aging, and if you lead the team, you're managing. Second gear is second kit, S-kit, required for takeoff, and a takeoff in the sense of you taking a skit is a takeoff. Factious is divisive. I suppose if you break into facts, is that right? Factions into factions, then you are being factious. A bit of info is a fact, and that's going on debtors documents, which are IOUs. Unemotional is stoic. We've got criticism is stick, mostly, so take the K off of it and put an O in there. That again, that's another example of clue that's too much for the QC. So you haven't just got put O into 4 letters. You've got put O into a word for criticism and then take off a letter from criticism to get to unemotional. That's too much for the QC. One time is X, and then hoodlums regularly, so O-D-U-S, alternate letters of hoodlums, gives us fleeing, which is Exodus. And again, that's a complicated two-step clue. Specialist insight, I didn't know, I wouldn't have put specialist insight down as provision, so I don't know. A specialist is a pro, okay? So a specialist is a pro. Insight is vision, and then by Al Pacino. So that's what's going on there. And if you're acting, your provisional role. Ordered is arrayed. So you set up an array, you order things. A surprise attack is a raid. Think R-A-I-D. Over radio things it sound like. I like this clue. Each street, so EA and then ST for street, and that's literally right on the map. The east side of the map is normally the right side. Perpetual movement of so perpetual is everlasting. We've got movement of things. There's an anagram of giant levers. We've got 10 years is a decade. Collection of books is the New Testament, the NT, and deteriorating is decadent. If you stop, you are refraining. Stop doing that. Refrain from doing that. A few bars is a musical refrain. Bottomless prosecco is win. Wine becoming win. Because it's down clue, so take off the E. Possibly more than once makes it win-win. And win-win is great for everyone. Standard is stock. That's a stock part of something. Standard. And risotto recipe could be stock goes in risotto. And finally, a shady scheme is a scam, and computers to be set up on Macs going upwards. So there we go, 3055, not a quick solve, but then I don't think it's really in the QC bunch, but that's just my personal opinion. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that.